Shalom. Welcome. We are continuing our directed Hebrew immersion in the book of Exodus. As here in the Eastern Hemisphere, we finish up the holiday Shemini Atzeret. And we look forward to beginning tonight, Simchat Torah. So hope you are enjoying the treat of studying with us. I feel like it's a treat to study the Holy Scriptures in Biblical Hebrew. May it be Adonai's will that you continue to grow magnificently in your understanding and your excitement and your desire, really gaining the understanding that your neshama desires. All right, so here we are. We are starting with Exodus chapter 32, verse 23. And let's get it to the Atnachta, okay? Vayomeru li ase lanu Elohim asher yelechu lefaneinu. All right. So this is, if you remember, from the Hebrew graphic novel mini comic strip we made last week, or the week prior. This is Aharon answering Moshe Rabbeinu about what happened while he was gone, okay? Vayomeru. Yomeru is they are saying or they will say. It's what we call an imperfect. An imperfect. Oops, sorry about that. We do not have time in Biblical Hebrew the same way. It doesn't work the same way as it does in English, for example. So an imperfect is an incompleted verb, right? I mean, it means the thing is incomplete, right? So often we render that as present or as a future, okay? Not always. Sometimes it's also past, right? So it's really about the action is incomplete. Right? But here we have the Vav conversive. Da-da-da-da. That's our Vav. By the way, many of you know this, but I'm sure you're familiar now with our Exodus class. We explain everything so that someone can jump in wherever they're at. They can get the basics, and someone who's been doing it for a while can still go through and work it out with us and learn something still. Now, the Vav conversive is when you have a Vav in front of the verb, and sometimes that will change the aspect. And that's what's happening here. So our Vav, or scholars call it a wow conversive, right? Wow. Because it used to be a W sound. There's really no questions asked about that. As it is in all Semitic languages. They all have a wow. We just say V today because we're using a little bit of modern pronunciation. Probably what happened was the Ashkenazim, like in German, there's no W sound, right? We have ways that make you talk. No W. Many of those languages, Polish, Russian, there's no W sound. And so Ashkenazi Jews, who were the majority, actually I think we still are the majority worldwide, but we're like the super majority before the Holocaust. The Ashkenazim, because of the local languages, they didn't have a W sound, and so they pronounced it the way that a native speaker of Polish, Russian, German, Yiddish, etc. would. So that's how it became a V sound, right? Anyway, so the Vav conversive is going to change the aspect. And if it's imperfect, it becomes perfect. If it's perfect, it becomes imperfect. So it's going to make it a perfect. Now, a perfect is a completed action. Very often, this will map to English past tense, all right? Not always, but we do have the precative perfect, which is like a kind of gentle command, like, oh, that this would happen, oh, that you would do that, mostly in poetry. And sometimes we have what's called the prophetic perfect. It's when a prophet is speaking, and it sounds in English like it's the past tense. That's why the King James translation and some other old translations, which are trying to be true to the Hebrew, they will sound like they're in the past tense. Okay, so Yomeru means they are saying, or they will say, right? The Yod and the Vav, that makes it they. But the vav conversive here, or the waw conversive, is changing it to vayomeru. Then they said. So this is, again, Aaron speaking. Li, to me. Vayomeru li. Then they said to me. And here we have an imperative. This is a command form from the verb asa, to do or to make. Say, that's talking to a man. Do or make. Lanu, for us. Make for us. And by the way, we have the key over here, right? The legend with what most of the colors mean. Elohim, gods. Or a god, if they're confused, trying to make it like Hashem. Asher, who, and now we can tell they do think it should be plural. Yelechu. This is from the word halach, and the hey has disappeared. We're just left with the lamed and the kaf. I'm trying to make the laser pointer, and it's drawing instead. Oh, what are you doing? Okay, there we go. Lamed and kaf. And again, the yod and the u tell us they. Yelechu, they will go. See, it's imperfect. They will go. Asher yelechu, who will go lefanenu. Lamed is two. Panim is this next base word, and the mem went away. Fanei, so panim are face or presence. Fanei, presence of, nu, us. Or lifnei can mean before. So lifneinu, before us, becomes lefaneinu because of the accent mark there, the etnachta, that guy that looks like a wishbone. Any comments or questions? That little wishbone guy, that's like a semicolon in English. It's saying, hey, this is kind of a self-contained phrase. In the Talmud, in Tractate Soferim, we're taught that the etnachta owns all of the other words before it, right? So they belong to it. If you have a really long verse, sometimes you'll have more than one. Okay, so let's review that part again. This time, try to translate before I do. Vayomeru. The low pitch is telling you it's the person of the verb, right? Then they, amad, they said, li, to me. Say lanu, make for us. The high pitched sound, that's the pronoun, right? For us. Elohim, gods, or deities. Asher, who, yelechu, will go. Lefanenu, before us. Okay, let's continue. Ki zeh Moshe ha'ish asher he'elanu me'eretz Mitzrayim lo yada'anu mehayalo. Okay. Ki zeh, for this, zeh is a masculine. Hold on, I dropped my stylus. It's a masculine demonstrative adjective, this. If it were feminine, it would be zot. Later, in later Hebrew, zeh becomes zu, but anyway, you probably heard the phrase gam zu latov. Even this is for good, like when bad things happen. Ki zeh, for this, Moshe, like this guy Moshe, Moses. Gray are for names. Ha'ish, the ish, the man. Asher, who. He'elanu. So it's the verb la'ala, la'ayin, lamed, hey, which means to go up. And the hey is gone. This is a he fill. You can tell by the hey added in the front. So that means to cause to go up. So to bring up. So he brought up nu, us. That's our pronoun, like lefanenu, he'elanu. Before us. He brought up us. Ase lanu, make for us. Lanu, lefanenu, he'elanu. Okay. Us. Yadanu. Right? All right. So the man who brought us up, notice they're focusing on Moshe being the one, not God. May. Now, may, it's just the word min. What happened was when it contracted, the noon tried to go inside the aleph and double it, but aleph cannot double. So it kicked out the noon, and the little one dot, became two dots. The noon went down. He went down there. Let's show it. He tried to go here. Rejected. Oh! And he ended up as the second dot. May, construct chain. Da, Eretz Mitzrayim. Whenever the last word in a construct chain is definite, the entire chain becomes definite. So what do we mean by definite? Well, in English, we usually do this with the definite article, the. So there are three ways to make a word definite. Definite. One, it's a name. Two, it's got a suffix on it, like my such and such, his such and such. It narrows it down, right? And three, which is the most obvious, it has the definite article on it. Okay? Those are the three ways that a word can be definite in Hebrew. Well, in this case, Mitzrayim, as you can see, it's gray, and gray we use for a name. So it's definite. So because it's definite, it's going to impart the word the on every word in the chain if it can, as long as it sounds right in English. So when we translate may, oh man, my laser pointer's not working again. Hold on. Yeah, I tricked it. It's back. May, which is min, from the Eretz, the land of Mitzrayim, of Egypt. Lo, not yada'nu. So why is this nu blue and the one up there is yellow? Well, this is part of the verb. It's a verbal affix. It's showing you the person of the verb, and I like to use blue for that, right? Up here we had yod and shurik. They were blue for they. Now we have nu at the end for we. Yada is to know. Yada'nu. Perfect. We knew. Or we know. Lo yada'nu. We don't know. Meh. What? Haya happened. Lo to him. Lo yada'nu me hayalo. Not we know what happened to him. Okay, let's do everything after that. Nachta again, and this time you try to translate before I do. He'elanu. So from the verb ya'la, to go up, but it's a hefil, so to cause to go up. Hefil makes it cause. To cause to Allah. So if it was just Allah, it would mean he went up. But since it's he, Allah, it means he went up. He caused to go up. So he brought up us. Me Eretz Mitzrayim, from the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt. Lo, that's Lamed Aleph. Don't confuse it with lo at the end here. Lo, for him, this is lo. Not yada'nu. Not no we. We don't know. Me what? Haya happened. Lo to him. One more time, I'll just read it all through at a normal speed with no tones, okay? Just as like a little review for those who dislike the tones. Exodus chapter 32, verse 23 in the Hebrew. Vayomeru li, Aseh lanu Elohim, asher yelechu lefanenu, ki ze Moshe ha'ish, asher he'elanu me'eretz Mitzrayim, lo yadanu mehayalo. Okay. You guys doing okay? Great. And a special thank you to our Sha'ar members over here on Patreon. I really appreciate you guys. Sha'ar, the gate. You guys have access to the rest of the lesson, which will continue shortly. And for everyone else, I hope you enjoyed this sample, the first half of the lesson. If you'd like to become a Sha'ar member and support what we do here, it's just $10 a month. And it's very, very appreciative, and you'll get the full access to First Kings lessons and Exodus lessons and samples of many other lessons. And a lot of times I make vocabulary just for Sha'ar and above, right? So very, very helpful. So and when you do sign up, please consider signing up for as much as you feel like you can handle, because we are always in need. We always need equipment. We always need to eat. We always need a silly thing called eating and all these kind of things. So it's much appreciated. Really, really helps. This is the end of part 1 from a 2-part video. This video was proudly Israeli made and edited. Am Yisrael Chai, Od Avinu Chai. Tikkun Olam, repair the world. Do your part to reduce suffering among humans and animals. Shalom.